students, we will discuss regarding irrigation management transfer policies under water governance. Irrigation management transfer refers to the transfer of management responsibilities for an irrigation system from a government agency to user organizations, local bodies, or non-governmental organization. Irrigation management transfer means it is transferring the responsibility of irrigation system, managing the irrigation system from a government agency to the other agencies like user organizations, local bodies, or non-governmental organizations. In particular, it is seen as a way to reduce pressure on thinly stretched government finances while at the same time improving the agriculture production from irrigation system and ensuring the long-term sustainability of those irrigation systems. Government has sometimes have constraint on the budgetary allocations. In order to mitigate this, the responsibilities are transferred to the some other agencies like local bodies or not or NGOs or some user organization groups, keeping in mind the improvement of the agriculture production as well as to sustain the irrigation system for a long time. Components of a typology of IMT policies and activities. Definition: irrigation management activities and institutions is defined as an irrigation system is a system of physical structures such as dams, canals, gates, pumps, and others that capture water from a natural source and distribute it to farmers. Irrigation system is a system which consists of the construction of infrastructure like dams, canals, gates, pumps, etc. to capture the water as well as to distribute it to the farmers. Irrigation management activities are those concerned with water distribution, maintenance, resource mobilization, conflict resolution. Water distribution is to capture or store the water and distribute it to the farmers. Maintenance is repairing and maintaining the physical structures of the irrigation system. Resource mobilization is where to raise the resources from the users for the O&M needs. Conflict resolution, so you have to resolve conflict among users and system managers over the above three items. Irrigation management institutions include the rules and organization concerned with these four activities. Irrigation management institution includes the formation of rules as well as the organizations concerned to carry out the functions of above four activities. Government irrigation management policy includes those rules and principles that define institutions, rules, and organizations for some or all of the four irrigation management activities. Irrigation management policy includes the rules and principles that define the institutions and organization concerning the above four activities. Irrigation management policies thus define water distribution rules. Irrigation management policies consist of water distribution rules, the rules defining the proper distribution of irrigation water to legitimate users. Resource mobilization rules. The process of mobilization of resources for operation and maintenance of the system, including requirements for payment of irrigation fees and for contributing labor. Conflict resolution rules. The rules regarding how conflicts are to be settled. System managers. The persons or organizations responsible for operation and maintenance, for resource mobilization, and for conflict resolution. System managers are those persons who are involved in mobilizing the resources and also for conflict resolution and responsible for O&M operations of the system. Some of the more important policy provisions are simply matters of practice rather than being documented. Some of the important policy provisions are simply matters of the practice. That means they are some customary practices rather than being documented. For example, in Tamil Nadu, in India, the lawmakers, the Public Works Department responsible for O&M of all irrigation systems larger than command area more than 100 acres. So in Tamil Nadu, there are there the system is in a practice that the PWD takes care of the O&M activities of the irrigation system, which consist of the command area more than 100 acres. Irrigation management transfer. It is defined as the transfer of responsibility for some or all irrigation management responsibilities for an irrigation system from a government agency to one or more private persons or organization. Management transfer need not be total but could limit to specific parts of irrigation system or to specific management function. Irrigation management transfer means transferring the responsibility for some or all of the management responsibilities of a irrigation system to some private agencies or persons or organizations from the government. The management transfer need not be total, it may not be entire the system, it has to be transferred. It can be limited to some specific part of irrigation system with specific management functions. Dimensions for classifying irrigation management transfer policies and activities. The definition of IMT includes transfer of responsibilities from government agency to private persons or organization. This suggests that two of the needed traits are definition of the persons or organization to whom the responsibilities are to be transferred, the responsibilities to be transferred from the government agency to the private person. So the transfer of irrigation management needs two policies or two principles. Definition of the persons or organizations to whom the responsibilities are to be transferred. So we must define or identify the proper person or organization to whom the responsibilities are to be transferred, and also the type of responsibilities to be transferred from government agencies to the private person. So we should also know what responsibilities are to be transferred from the government agency to the private person. These two traits may not be enough. Farmers cannot provide better irrigation service unless they are given greater authority over irrigation management activities. The farmers are also should be provided with an authority over irrigation management activities if the IMT has to be successful. This argument suggests that the third needed trait or the third needed principle is that the rights and powers, particularly those over water distribution in the broad sense, to be transferred. Resources have to be mobilized for the operation and maintenance of any irrigation system. Irrigation system needs the mobilization of resource for O&M operations. Since IMT involves two parties, the government agency and the private organization and persons, there are two issues. So this leads to two issues because there are two parties involved in IMT, that is the government agency as well as the private organization. Changes in system and requirements for resource mobilization for the government agency. So the system needs some changes and requirements for resource mobilization for the government agency. Changes in systems and requirements for resource mobilization for the private persons or organization. So the issues are the both private as well as the government agencies have to mobilize the funds for their functions. So one of the main motivations for governments to adopt IMT policies is to reduce the contribution from general government revenues to the O&M cost for irrigation system. The motivation of the IMT itself is that the government has to reduce the contribution for the O&M operations of the irrigation system. An additional issue is changes in conflict resolution institutions, identification or creation of new bodies, definition of rules for setting conflicts, etc., could also be a key part of an IMT policy. So, the IMT also needs some policies for setting out the conflicts arising in the services, and that needs the creation of new bodies and definition of rules for setting of the conflicts. IMT is a process of change. If the policy is transferred into activities, there must be means to bring the change about. If a policy is translated, that is, IMT policy is translated into activities, then there should be some instrument to bring about the changes. If, as in most IMT programs, transfer of responsibilities to be made to WUAs, generally someone has to work with farmers to encourage them to form WUAs. For transferring, you need water users association, and there should be someone to motivate the farmers to form the WUAs in order that the irrigation management system can be transferred to WUAs. Often incentives need to be offered. This needs the offering of incentives to the farmers. Following are the 7 key elements and the key dimensions for the classification of IMT policies and activities. There are 7 key dimensions for the classification of IMT policies and also activities. Persons or organizations to whom responsibilities are transferred, identification of proper person and organization to whom the responsibilities are to be transferred, responsibilities transferred, the type or the nature of responsibility to be transferred, rights and powers transferred, the type of rights and powers to be transferred. Changes in agency resource mobilization, changes in resource mobilization for the private persons or organization, changes in conflict resolution institutions, IMT implementation means. It is generally useful to classify IMT policies and activities by recognized types of irrigation systems. Sometimes there is a need to classify the IMT policies based on the activities or the type of irrigation systems involved. These different types of irrigation systems generally have different management needs and require different levels of resource mobilization for O&M, including different types and levels of government input. The different types of irrigation system have different management needs and also require different levels for resource mobilization for O&M needs, including different types of levels of government input. Also, it involves the different types of the levels of the government for inputs. The environment of irrigation management transfer in India. So let us see what is the enabling environment available in India for irrigation management transfer processes. State as a government agency, irrigation department to deal with irrigation matters. Every state has got irrigation department to deal with irrigation matters. State irrigation departments operate medium and major surface irrigation systems. Irrigation departments usually operate the medium and major surface irrigation systems. Medium and major surface irrigation systems account for 36% of the net irrigated area in India. So almost 36% of the net irrigated area is irrigated by medium and major surface irrigation systems. Area irrigated by private groundwater irrigation amounts to 49%. Traditional tank irrigation schemes 7%. Other sources of irrigation 8%. Unfortunately, the upkeep of public irrigation infrastructure has been inadequate. A major reason is lack of resources for O&M. It is unfortunate that the public irrigation infrastructure is not maintained well. A major reason is lack of resources for O&M. This is due to failure to adjust water charges in line with rising cost of O&M. O&M costs are rising, but we are unable to meet the O&M charges because of the lack of the resources, and this lack of resources is due to failure to achieve high collection rates of water charges. Irrigation management transfer is coming to be seen as a way out of this difficulty. Irrigation management transfer is the solution for to coming out of this difficulty. Types of irrigation systems in India. The following classes, although not standard, are widely recognized in India and seem to provide a good framework for a typology of IMT policies and activities. The following classification of the irrigation systems, even though they are not standard, they are widely in practice and they seem to provide a good framework for the framing of the IMT policies and activities. Large systems, small gravity systems, small pump systems. This includes both wells and lift systems. Most irrigation professionals classify irrigation systems into three size categories based on the command area. So there is another classification based on the area, command area, depending on the command area. Major systems, those whose commands are more than 10,000 hectares. Medium systems, those whose commands are between 10,000 and 2,000 hectares. Minor systems, those whose commands are less than 2,000 hectares. So this is the classification based on the command area. In every state, large systems including both major and medium systems are handled by one agency, while small systems, minor systems are handled by another agency by a separate wing of irrigation agency. In every state, the large and that is major and medium systems are handled by one agency and the minor systems are handled by another government agency. In our state also we are having two departments, that is irrigation department called as water resource department where the major and medium schemes are handled, and there is another wing of the department called as minor irrigation department where the minor systems are being managed. The major reason given for this distinct is that large systems have greater need for government control for two reasons. This distinction of classification is made because the large and medium schemes require more government control, and the reason for this is they require more centralized control. They often have higher technical knowledge and expertise requirements for managers. The major and medium schemes require a centralized control by the state government, and also they are to be provided with higher technical knowledge and expertise requirement of the managers. Thus, these administrative distinctions correspond to differences in support provided to the different types of systems by the state governments. Thus the classification is in the administrative or the administrative distinction correspond to the differences that the government makes the provision for supporting that system. Three common features of policies and program. Water user associations. All state policies envisage and transfer of irrigation management responsibilities to water user associations organized on a hydrological basis rather than, say, villages. State government policies envisage transfer of irrigation management responsibility to water user association, and these associations are based on a hydrological basis, that is it may be a command area or a watershed area rather than, say, the village boundaries. Retaining main system control. All states envisage retaining ownership of the large irrigation systems, retaining the state irrigation management agency and maintaining its responsibility of operations and maintenance of the upper levels of the large system. So state governments also envisage to retain the ownership of the large irrigation system with government only, and also it wants to retain the irrigation management agencies or the institutions which manage the irrigation, the government only, and also they maintain the responsibility of the operations of the upper level systems. That means maybe storage systems or main distribution canals, etc. So it wants to retain the operation and maintenance of the upper level of the infrastructure systems of the irrigation. WUS to handle conflict resolution. While conflict resolution was an important issue for some of the policies, in every case it was assumed that the WEA would be able to resolve conflicts among its members and that WEA would represent its members to the agency. The conflict arising between the users or the farmers are to be solved or resolved by the WUA, is Water Users Association. And also it is assumed that the WUA would represent its members to the agency. Motivation for adopting irrigation management transfer policies for large system. Irrigation management transfer policies are not created in a vacuum. The various interest groups involved are concerned with the benefits and difficulties that irrigation management transfer is likely to bring. There are many interest groups are involved in the irrigation system, and when the IMT policies are implemented, it may bring the difficulties as well as the benefits, and all the interest groups involved are concerned with these benefits and difficulties. The Government of India Command Area Development Program. The Government of India Command Area Development Program has been advocating greater farmer involvement in management in the last system since 1970s. The Government of India since 1970 under Command Area Development Program is advocating or motivating the farmers to involve in the management of large-scale irrigation systems. Beginning in the mid-1980s, it began offering explicit recommendations about how to organize farmers to achieve such involvement. So in the mid-1980s, government suggested or gave some recommendations, explicit recommendations about how to organize the farmers. The farmers are to be organized for this purpose and to achieve such involvement or to achieve the participation of the farmers in the irrigation management system. At the same time, the program began offering funds to undertake some activities. Also, the Government of India began offering funds to undertake the activities for this purpose. These funds have been extremely important in some states. International donors. International donors have exerted pressure on some states to adopt IMT policies and program as conditions for granting funds for specific projects. Some international donor or money lending institutions like World Bank are exerting pressure on some of the states to implement IMT policies in order to get the grants or funds for them for the specific projects. The immediate reason that the state governments adopted IMT policies in Haryana and in Tamil Nadu was satisfying the World Bank in order to get funds for the water resource consolidation projects in those states. In the states of Haryana and Tamil Nadu, we implemented the IMT policy, the World Bank found was satisfactory, and this led to the sanctioning of funds for the consolidation projects in these states. Thank you.